Have you ever wondered why you make the same mistakes over and over? Why you're drawn to certain people? Why you can't seem to stick to your goals, even when you know exactly what you should do? The answer isn't willpower. It's not laziness. It's psychology. And once you understand the hidden patterns behind human behavior, everything changes. Today we're looking at 5 books that unlock the psychology of why you do what you do. These aren't dense textbooks. They're practical, readable explorations of the human mind that will make you see yourself and others completely differently. Let's start with number 5, Thinking Fast and Slow by Daniel Kahneman. This book explains something that changes how you see every decision you make. Your brain operates 2 systems at the same time. System 1 is fast, automatic, intuitive. It's your gut feeling, your instant reaction. System 2 is slow, deliberate, logical. It's the hard thinking you have to consciously activate. Here's the problem. Most of your life, you're running on System 1. You believe you're making rational choices, but you're actually being driven by mental shortcuts called heuristics. These shortcuts save mental energy, but they constantly mislead you. Kahneman shows how these shortcuts explain why you overestimate your abilities, why you're irrationally afraid of things that rarely happen, why you make terrible financial decisions, why you're biased in ways you don't even recognize. Readers in finance, business, and anyone trying to understand their own decision-making swear by this book. It's dense but rewarding, and once you understand System 1 and System 2, you start noticing them everywhere. Number 4, Atomic Habits by James Clear. You already know that small habits compound over time. But this book goes deeper. It explains the exact mechanism of why habits stick and how to rewire them. Clear introduces the habit loop. Cue, craving, response, reward. Every habit follows this pattern. Your phone buzzes. You crave the dopamine of checking it. You respond by looking at it. You get rewarded with information or entertainment. That's a habit loop. The genius of this book is that it doesn't demand massive willpower. Instead, it teaches you to make tiny adjustments to the loop. You can't eliminate the cue, but you can change your response. You can make the good habit easier and the bad habit harder. This is for anyone stuck in patterns they hate, smokers trying to quit, people struggling with phone addiction, anyone who's tried and failed at New Year's resolutions. The book works because it doesn't shame you into change. It gives you a system. Number 3, Man's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. This book is different from the others. Frankl was a Holocaust survivor, a psychiatrist, and a philosopher. He wrote this after World War II, and it answers one of the deepest questions. How do you find meaning in a meaningless, suffering world? Frankl argues that the primary human motivation isn't pleasure or power. It's meaning. Even in the most horrific circumstances, people who found meaning survived. People who lost meaning gave up. The book is short but profound. Frankl explains that you can't control what happens to you, but you can control the meaning you assign to it. This shift in perspective is what determines your psychological health. This resonates with people going through loss, questioning their life direction, or feeling stuck in work that feels pointless. It's not a self-help book. It's a philosophy book that happens to heal. Number 2, The Social Animal by David Brooks. Brooks was a New York Times columnist, and this book is his exploration of how much of who we are comes from our unconscious mind and social bonds, not conscious reasoning. The book follows the fictional life of a man named Harold, but it's packed with neuroscience research. Brooks shows how most of your personality, your values, your decision-making happens below conscious awareness. Your rational mind is just the narrator, explaining decisions that were already made by your unconscious. He explores how your childhood shapes your attachment style, how your social connections literally shape your brain, how your community influences who you become more than you realize. Brooks writes for people who thought they understood themselves but realize they don't. It's humbling and beautiful. It explains why therapy works, why relationships matter so much, and why you can't logic your way out of emotional problems. And number 1, Predictably Irrational by Dan Ariely. Ariely is a behavioral economist who runs experiments showing that humans aren't just irrational. We're predictably irrational. We make the same kinds of mistakes over and over in the same situations. He explains why you value something more just because you own it, why you're willing to pay more for something if it's labeled expensive, why you'll do things for free that you won't do for small payment, why you lie in ways that make you feel good about yourself while still being dishonest. These aren't character flaws. They're cognitive patterns built into how humans process information and make decisions. Understanding them means you can start to compensate for them. Airily writes with humor and real experiments. This book is perfect for anyone in business, marketing, or anyone who wants to understand why they keep making the same financial mistakes. Here's what ties all these books together. They all shatter the myth that you're a rational actor in control of your own mind. Your brain is far more complex, far more influenced by your environment, far more driven by unconscious patterns than you think. But here's the good news. Once you see these patterns, you can work with them instead of against them. You can design your life and your habits around how your mind actually works, not how you wish it worked. These books don't just explain psychology, they give you permission to be human, to understand why you struggle, to stop blaming yourself for being irrational when irrationality is just part of being alive. Pick one of these and start reading. Your understanding of yourself will never be the